First, live, local. This is Fox 12 Now.
Hello everyone, this is Fox 12 Now. I'm Greg Nibbler. As always, we appreciate you joining us. We are live streaming here from the Fox 12 Oregon newsroom, as we do every weekday starting around 1 p.m. We're on our YouTube channel, we're at KPTV.com, and of course on the Fox 12 Oregon apps. So thanks for being here. Right now, though, we are talking about the Bureau of Land Management's Bat Beauty Contest. It is back, it's returned, and Oregon has been doing pretty well in the competition. We've won the last 2 years. I'm saying we as though I'm one of the bats. We collectively have won the last 2 years in a row, going for a third year. We're gonna talk about that and more. Joining us right now, we have Emma Busk, a wildlife technician for BLM. And Emma, thank you very much for being here with us today. And to start off, before we talk about the competition itself and the people running, the bats in the running this year, all over the board. Let's talk about the competition. So can you tell us exactly what this is and how this got started?
Yeah, so every year the BLM hosts a competition, the Bat Beauty Contest, that essentially the public participates in, where these government agents have submitted photos of bats that they've taken on public land, and the public essentially gets to vote for their favorite, and then the winner is announced on Halloween. So our Bat Beauty Contest also coincides with International Bat Week, which is basically a celebration for bats and all of the ways that they contribute to ecosystem services and to our ecosystem in general. And so it's also just a big celebration for bats and for ways that we can learn how to better protect them.
And when we're talking about bats and you mentioned all of the ways that they're beneficial and ways that they can help out and things that they do. Can you give us maybe a little rundown on that, of what are some important things that people should know about bats and what they do for the environment?
Yeah, so bats play a huge role in agricultural pest control. So every year, bats save farmers billions of dollars in this natural pest control, reducing pesticide usage. All of our bats here in Oregon are insectivorous, meaning that they prey on insects. So in Oregon alone, they're contributing a lot to those ecosystem services, and particularly U.S. agriculture. But globally, bats play a role by pollinating plants that, eventually fruit into our favorite foods like bananas and mangoes and guava. And, they pollinate agave, which ends up being tequila. And so, globally, there are so many different ecosystem services that bats provide. But here in the U.S. and here in Oregon, they play a huge role in pest control.
Yeah, I mean, that's such an important thing. And, when we talk about, or you brought up protecting bats too, and learning more about them, educating the public about that, to do so, to educate a little bit, what are some of the concerns right now with bat populations, especially here in Oregon?
Yeah, it's a great question. So bats are threatened by habitat loss. Generally, they're threatened by climate change, similar to a lot of other species. We haven't had any reports of white nose syndrome in Oregon yet, but it's a fungal disease that affects bats. It's been decimating populations across the country. Also, domestic and feral house cats prey on bats, and so making sure to keep your cats indoors when you can. And, wind turbines are also a threat to migratory bat species. So hoary potter is a hoary bat that is in the competition right now. And hoary bats are one of our seasonal migrants, and they play it. Yep, there's hoary potter. And, that species is particularly vulnerable to collisions with wind turbines. And so, there's a lot that we need to, there are a lot of ways to support bats. And I think that, we can just start by, we can start in our own backyards by making sure that, we plant native plants and that we can, reduce artificial light. Artificial light disorients bats. It attracts, insects to it. And so it takes them out of their natural foraging habitat. So there are little ways that we can help support bats, I think, in our homes.
Yeah, good stuff that people should be aware of, and especially I didn't think about that too with feral cats or cats getting outside and some of the damages that they can do. I know we've done some coverage on that, and I know for everybody out there with their cats, we love cats, but they can cause some damage out there. So things to be
Sure.
things to be aware of.
Yeah.
Going from there and learning about that, let's talk about, I guess you brought up one of the competitors in this. Can you tell me about these two different bats that we have that are from Oregon?
Yeah, so like I said, Hoary Potter is a hoary bat, and so they are seasonal migrants, meaning that they will migrate south during the winter months. They'll gather along the coast and in northern Mexico, and then they'll return to Oregon in the spring to their breeding and foraging grounds. One fun fact about hoary bats is that they usually give birth to twins. So usually bats just have one pup every year, but hoary bats will usually have twins, and so that's kind of fun. And then Honey Bunches of Myotis is our other competitor this year, and yeah, she's a female, and she is a long-eared Myotis, and she has those nice large ears to help her locate and hear prey and to generate some lift while she's flying. So she's not a seasonal migrant; she is a resident all year round here. But those are both of our competitors this year in the contest.
And Oregon has won the last 2 years in a row, so this is going for a three-peat this year.
We are, yeah. We're hoping to keep the momentum in Oregon here.
What do you think it is about Oregon bats that makes them so beautiful to keep winning these competitions?
Yeah, I mean, we have great species diversity here. Like, the Myotis species, which is Honey Bunches of Myotis, is a smaller species, but hoary bats are our largest bat. And so I think that we've just got great species diversity here. And yeah, we've got beautiful bats here in Oregon. So I think that I let the bats speak for themselves.
And everybody can place their votes as well. Emma, for you, what is it about this field that drew you to it?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think I've always loved animals and I've loved being around animals. And I feel really grateful to get to work with the species that I work with, especially bats too, because I think that, like kind of people fear most what they know least about. And I think that's kind of a lot of the attitudes around bat is that bats are that they are very elusive, that most of them are nocturnal. And, our interactions with bats, I think, kind of create those narratives and stories. And that's what I love about this contest is being able to promote those positive images of bats, because I think when people think of bats, like they immediately associate them with rabies, but less than 1% of all bat populations carries rabies. And, bats actually contribute so much to our ecosystem. And I think that if people, were able to kind of separate fact from fear, they could, I think appreciate bats so much more in what the ecosystem services that they continue to provide us with and, outside of U.S. agriculture. And so, yeah. I do love bats.
Obviously, and for good reason. One quick question, we were talking about things that people can do. What about bat boxes? So is that something that people should be doing, or is there a good way to go about that?
Yeah, so installing bat boxes does provide roosting opportunities for bats. I think that, if you are going to install a bat box, that they should be, designed properly and placed, near water sources, or placement is really important. Bat Conservation International has some great resources on their website for kind of helping people lean into, placing bat boxes around their homes. But yeah, I mean, bat boxes are a great resource if they are, built correctly and kind of placed properly.
Great. Well, and where can people go? I want to remind everybody where they can go to see the other bats, see the competition, place their vote for the Oregon Bats, and be a part of this.
Yeah, so it's the BLM National Facebook and Instagram pages is where the competition is currently being held online. So at My Public Lands is the Instagram handle where the voting will continue. The contestants are posted on the stories, and so you can go ahead and vote on the story or comment underneath the posts and be a part of who is crowned this year's winner.
Let's go for the three-peat. Well,
let's do it.
I would thank you so much for having some time to talk about this. Really appreciate it, and educating people about bats and just what a value they are to everything, and and learning about the competition as well. Thanks so much for being here with us today. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you for covering it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Have a great day.
Oh wait, do you have to pick one to vote for? And if you are, which one is it?
I mean, I took the photo, so I feel like I'm a little biased.
Biased?
Yeah, I want all the bats to win, but I want one of the bats from Oregon to win too. So, I love my hoary bat photo. I really love hoary bats, and so I hope Hoary Potter makes it to the final round. So.
All right. All right, everybody, there we go. But at least pick
There
one
we
of
go.
them. All right.
They're
Thanks,
so
Emma.
cute. Thank you.
For everybody watching, this is Fox 12 Now. We are live here from the newsroom, as we are every weekday starting at 1 p.m. We go throughout the afternoon. A lot coming up on today's show. 1:30 p.m. I'm going to be talking to the creator of Big League Chew Gum. Yes, Big League Chew Gum was created in Portland. And Rob Nelson still lives here. He's going to be talking about that. It's a really interesting interview. He's also a member of the Portland Mavericks. So that's, again, coming up at 1:30 p.m. If you are watching live, if you're watching after the fact, you can probably go check it out right now. So that would be at the Fox 12 Oregon YouTube channel, kptv.com, or the Fox 12 Now tab, or the Fox 12 Oregon apps. Just want to make sure you know all the places to do so and share that programming. But we'll be back soon. I'm Greg Nibbler. This is Fox 12 Now.